starting from the bottom. Now my whole team here with the last, and then I'll work my way up to where I'm ranking, with the 10 being the worst, number 1 being the best coaching hire. Okay, number 10, Mike LaFleur. Listen, at Arizona, I don't care for that owner there. I saw the Hard Knocks with him. I don't like his body language as owner. Then you read the report about how he treats people. And I was thinking, well, they were obviously one of the last hires. I think they were the last, hire to get a coach here. So Mike LaFleur here, the brother of Matt LaFleur, yeah, that's a pretty decent name there. And the fact that the Rams did have the league's best offense. But if you look at the fact of the owner situation, of Kyler Murray's cap situation, and his injury history, the guy cannot finish the season here. I think this is the worst hire and the worst situation of everybody. I know they've got some pieces on that team at receiver. They got some offensive line pieces. They'll probably get an edge rusher, but that they may go offensive line. I've seen it all over the place there. But with Murray's injury history and his cap hit, which is over $50 million, and the ownership there, I think that this is the worst hire and the worst situational hire. Could be wrong, but I got that one, Mike LaFleur, at number 10 on ranking the head coaching hire. Okay, number 9. Jeff Hafley is not a bad coach. This is the former Boston College coach turned Green Bay Packer defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley. Not bad, especially before Micah Parsons went down. They looked like they were a potential Super Bowl contender. He takes the head coaching job down in Miami. Again, you've got the $50 million plus cap hit with Tua. And I thought McDaniel got everything he could possibly get out of Tua down in Miami. Remember, they started 0-5. Later on, they went on a little bit of a run. Thought maybe McDaniel would save his job. Ultimately, that wasn't the case towards the end of the season. And then, of course, he wasn't fired at the end of the season. But my point was later on in the season, he was benched. Tua was benched. So you kind of feel like, they got to the playoffs, but they couldn't win a game with Tua. We know about Tua's injury history with his concussions, those scary-looking hits, and also, again, with his big cap number, and you're putting guys like Quinn Ewers in there. So mediocre roster, got a few pieces, but not in love with it and not really sure what Hafley's going to bring to the table there. Anthony Weaver, they lost their defensive coordinator. He's going up to Baltimore. So I just think that is just a pretty – some people say maybe it could be a good hire, but I think it's number 9 on the hiring list for me, okay, as the 9th towards the end, which means 10's the worst, 9's the second, right? Okay, number 7, this one would be higher, but you have to put them in order, and you got to put the situation. You could put a good coach on a bad team that's got shaky quarterback and shaky cap room situation, and things can happen, and a good coach can be out of a job real quick. But Todd Monken at number 7, he's an experienced, proven offensive mind. Like I said before, success and experience with had success with Lamar Jackson. Best numbers of Lamar's career out of Todd Monken. And, of course, you throw in Stetson Bennett at the college level. I think he'll get, like I said last week, he'll get everything he can out of Shedeur Sanders, whether it be another quarterback they bring in. But what's holding him down is the Deshaun Watson situation and contract. You could say that was holding Stefanski down too. But either way, I got him at number 7, Todd Monken. That could get better. We got to see what they're going to do at the quarterback situation. but I'm looking at it as is with that anchor of a contract that Deshaun Watson situation. And which quarterback are you going to use? Gabriel? Is Gabriel back in? Obviously, they're not going to name Shedeur and just giving. It's going to be a heck of a quarterback competition. So we got to see how that one's going to play out. All right, number 6, Kevin Stefanski. It's more about the situation. Listen, this team looked like they were going to win division at one time. This Atlanta team, remember they beat Buffalo, folks. They beat Buffalo at home. They looked really sharp at times in Atlanta, even with both quarterbacks at one time. But they just were not consistent. But Stefanski is an upgrade over Raheem Morris, one of the better offensive lines in football Atlanta's got. Probably the best running back all around in Bijan Robertson. He's coming right into his prime here. We saw it last year. You got a true number 1 receiver there in Drake London. You got the edge rusher there, James Pierce, rookie, his second-year guy. You got him on a rookie contract. The problem is, what are you going to do? Kirk Cousins, they're going to move off him. They're going to probably take a hit there on the Kirk Cousins contracted situation. Then you got Michael Penix coming back from a third ACL. That's what's holding him back. Plus, I got him right down to the 6th. I would have Monken ahead of him, but he is coming into a better situation as far as polished offensive line, big skill position players, and the fact that and pretty good defense. Just a younger team all around. Although Cleveland's got a bunch of draft picks. Like I said, not really in love with the scheme, but it is an upgrade over a Raheem Morris. Kevin Stefanski at 6. I know certain people would have him ranked a little higher. Now, Mike McCarthy, you say, why Mike McCarthy above Stefanski? Because of the patience of the organization and the fact McCarthy is a Super Bowl winning coach, okay? He is a Super Bowl winning head coach. Even if they have to go with the backup and not Aaron Rodgers, or maybe they get a Mac Jones. You never know what they may do. Rodgers still may retire. He's going to go on his retreats, and then you'll find out what the deal is here. But and you may have to do some shifting there. You may have to do a little bit of shifting and move off some defensive players. But McCarthy got a better resume than Stefanski, got a more patient organization, although Atlanta's not too bad. They had a very patient organization there. I do think that this hire is better than Stefanski. I've got the Mike McCarthy, Pittsburgh, would have him higher, but of course, cap issues, quarterback issues, that really hurts. That really hurts a coach there. But I got him in at number 5. Okay? All right, number 4. Number 4. Let's see if we can find it here. Listen, people may say this is a little high. This is a little bit of a wild card. But I talked about this Monday that Clint Kubiak, everything is nothing's in stone yet, folks. But all fingers are pointing to Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator with the Seattle Seahawks. Talked about this Monday, the success he's had with Sam Darnold this year and the start he had last year with New Orleans there before Derek Carr ended up getting banged up last year. The 40-point games there. Kubiak paired with Fernando Mendoza, who just looks like an absolute can't miss. It's going to be coming up likely at the number 1 pick that the Raiders have with Brock Bowers, Ashton Genty. They also have the left tackle there, Colton Miller. You look at that they need some pieces on defense, but they want to move Crosby and try to go young on defense. Look at the fact that they're second only to Tennessee in cap room there. A lot of cap room, got your quarterback situated, got the right kind of coach there to put the right offense around him. I think that is it just feels like a home run hire. And again, I don't think I'm exaggerating. I think that this is potentially the best situation the Raiders have been in since Rich Gannon and Al Davis days. So when Dad was running it instead of Mark before Dad went a little crazy there. And of course, he's passed away, obviously. Okay, number 3. I guess somebody may say, well, this is getting a little high here. But listen, Jesse Mentor, a lot of hype coming on. This guy worked with both Harbaughs, coming off 2 championship defenses, or coming off championship defense in Michigan. But look at the top 5, I want to say, the Chargers were. Look at the great job he's done from that perspective. And he brought in Anthony Weaver, not a bad coordinator there at Miami. Going to put him up to the defense with Baltimore will be airtight. And the fact that he went out and got a very young offensive coordinator here, Dinkin Doyle. So Dinkin Doyle, 29-year-old offensive coordinator from the Bears. I guess Ben Johnson was calling all the plays there with the Bears. He wanted to do his own thing. So this guy feels like a Mike Macdonald fresh hire who's in the Super Bowl with the Seahawks right now. This feels like a fresh hire. I'm looking at the energy and a guy like an Anthony Weaver on that defense. I'm looking at Mentor, that fresh air guy. Basically, it feels like you're bringing in a young Harbaugh, a John Harbaugh. You know, you're bringing in that shot of energy there from a Jesse Mentor. Could this possibly been the number one hire? Possibly, but this guy doesn't have a head coaching experience. And Lamar Jackson salary, which, you know, the owner mentioned this, was it Steve Bisciotti mentioned the other day, we're going to try to extend Lamar because this cap hit is crazy. $73 million. It was 43 last year. So, but if you extend them, you could get that way down there, maybe like 15 or something like that. Really get that and make it better. They'll have more money to bring in some players here. So Jesse Mentor, a very good hire there at number 3. May have also hired a little bit higher if there were some more experience with this Dinkin Doyle from Chicago. But if you're Lamar Jackson, you're looking at this as this guy's going to try a lot of stuff here. He's going to use some of those Ben Johnson tricks there. Let's see if it all plays out. Okay. Number 2, wasn't in love with this at first, but once you started seeing the staff come together and looking at the situation here and what I'm reading and hearing coming out of Nashville, here in Nashville, of course, but this Robert Saleh hire with Tennessee, mind you, he's going to build that defense probably around Jeffrey Simmons. Now, we talked about the possibility of trading him the other day with Matt New Yorker, but likelihood they'll probably just build the defense around Simmons at 29 years old, the most cap money in the NFL, $100+ million. And what really helped this come up to number 2 here in my coaching ranking hires is the fact that he brought Brian Daboll in to work with Cam Ward. Cam Ward said today, this guy's going to hold me accountable. He's going to raise the bar really high. And I'm thinking that was really weird that he said that. I'm thinking, yeah, maybe because of Brian Callahan did not hold you accountable. You're sitting there arguing with defensive guys in practice with your rookie. Either way, Cam Ward very excited about working with the Brian Daboll here, and the fact that Tennessee top 5 pick, all this money, most money in the NFL, to go out and grab another tight end, another weapon there. And they'll probably get one in the draft as well. You look at the foundation, brought in Gus Bradley as a defensive coordinator, former head coach. Bradley didn't have the best defense there, but he's going to be an assistant. You know that Saleh is going to be running that defense. He's going to be calling it. He said he wanted to feel like he's more part of the game. He's a high energy guy. And I think Jason Garrett said after interviewing with the Titans that he says they got something special going on down there. So he likes the management. Maybe Amy Adams-Strunk has stepped back enough. Maybe she's hearing people like me saying, maybe you need to sell the team, and saying, I've meddled too much. I'm not strong in this area in football operations. Maybe I shouldn't get into my motions and my feels or whatever. Like I know that's kind of like a new thing younger folks say. Too much and let the football people do their thing, and I'll fade back a little bit, and maybe that's starting to come out. That vibe is starting to come out with the new structure of the organization down here in Tennessee. That's what Jason Garrett said today. Then you're looking at guys like, Brian DeBall paired with Robert Saleh there, and of course, their defensive coordinator there, Gus Bradley. So, I got them at number 2. So it goes out to looking like a disaster in Tennessee to now the future looks pretty bright here in the immediate future. Again, we don't know how long the ball's going to stay. I do know this, that who was it? Brian Flores was paid $6 million to be the defensive coordinator. Maybe she should look at doing something like that if it's a pretty mediocre job cycle come up for the ball in 2027 and keep him around at least throughout Cam Ward's rookie contract. This tie keeps coming down. Excuse me, folks. So I got Tennessee at number 2. Okay, number 1, last obviously but not least, the best hire, John Harbaugh, coming in, first really big name coach here since Tom Coughlin. Remember, Tom Coughlin had got the Jacksonville Jaguars to the AFC Championship game. John Harbaugh, $20 million a year contract here, bringing in Matt Nagy as the offensive coordinator. Nagy, remember, he won 2 playoff games with Mitch Trubisky in a division with Matt Stafford there and Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Nagy wanted to leave. He wanted more control of the offense, so he goes and works with John Harbaugh. And look at these pieces around them. They got Jackson Dart to work with. You've got all those defensive pieces there. Get those guys coached up. Malik Neighbors, Cam Scatterboo. I mean, that's the number 1 hire right there. Let's go through it again. John Harbaugh, the number 1 hire in this hiring cycle with the New York Giants. Number 2, Robert Saleh with Tennessee. And number 3, Jesse Mentor with the Baltimore Ravens. Clint Kubiak, number 4. Number 4 with the Baltimore Ravens there. And, of course, number 5, Mike McCarthy with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 6, Kevin Stefanski with the Atlanta Falcons. Number 7, Todd Monken with the Cleveland Browns there. Joe Brady with the Buffalo Bills. I think I skipped Joe Brady. I don't think I mentioned Joe Brady. The reason why I put Joe Brady at 8, I put Joe Brady at 8 because he's a very young guy. He's 36. He was already on the staff, and he brought in an unproven, although I do like him, he brought in an unproven Jim Leonard at 43, and Josh Allen's cap hit is $61 million. I think I did miss that one. So that's why I've got Buffalo's Joe Brady. It could go higher. We'll see, because they've got Josh Allen to deal with. But Brandon Beane is still there. He's missed on a lot of these picks. We shall see. But I got Brady at 8. Number 9, Jeff Hafley with Miami at number 9. And number 10, of course, Mike LaFleur with the Arizona. I'm not totally down on the majority of these. I don't totally down on any of these hires where I feel like it's going to be a disaster, like the Aaron Glenn hire with the Jets or so. Just not really, okay? But I rank the ones at the bottom because a lot of that is ownership, quarterback situation, cap room situation. That is setting a coach up to be fired. You know, whether it's his fault or not, we see this all the time. Coaches get fired because they had a bunch of injuries and they lost a lot of games, and the owner just says, "Hey, well, you're 5-20."